Alright, this is our next demo that we're going to be trying out. Vampire Therapist. It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah, I'm turning it down, don't worry. Do not worry, your pretty little head, I got it. How's that? Is that better? I like the ambiance. I love dimly lit, a little bit of light from the moon. A nice couch. Vampire Therapist explores or touches on sensitive topics such as war, abuse, addiction, sexual oppression, suicidal ideation, religion, and of course death. They may be uncomfortable or upsetting. These may be uncomfortable or upsetting for some readers. We recommend that readers with a history of trauma related to any of these topics approach this game with caution. Naturally, the game of vampires will also involve blood and sexual themes. Strong language is also present. It was developed in consultation with licensed therapists, but it should not be considered a substitute for therapy. Unless you're a vampire. In which case, maybe that's fine. Vampires,
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man.
A real southern dead man, too.
Kinda dead, at least. See, I'm a vampire. Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey, like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport, I wouldn't blame you one bit. That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger years with my former gang. And let me tell you, a vampire who's good with a gun can be a real terror.
That does sound quite dangerous.
I got lucky, though. I met some kind mortals who saw beyond my fangs. They taught me my letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace. After they passed on, I roamed America's majestic wilderness for nigh on 90 years, figuring out myself and what it means to be a vampire. And I found revelation.
He's so incredibly...
What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think.
I've never heard a vampire with this accent.
As the world started getting smaller, my old vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same monster mindset I used to have. Good thing I'm a quick draw. But I got hooked up with this newfangled internet thing and found a vampire who's helping my kin find their way. Fella named Andromachos, supposed to be 3,000 years old.
Woo!
He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers. I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been lucky, and now it's time to give back.
I'm immediately
Vampires
enamored.
Ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
I'm gonna suck your blood, partner. Don't worry, we can keep it just a kink thing if you're not into going too much further than that. Invernacht. Leipzig,
Well, I
2024.
think this is the address. Number 27, Clean Flitter Mouse Streeb?
I don't speak German. No, I know that symbol. I don't remember how it sounds. I don't think it sounds like a B, though.
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here.
I guess this is Sam. This is our guy. We might be you? Are you our vampire therapist?
Wait a minute. These folk are vampires. Better watch myself.
You are also a vampire. You can protect yourself. You're fine.
Guten Abend, folks. Sprechen Sie English?
Ja, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
They're so stereotypical, but I kind of love it. It's kind of great.
Well, what's so special about this club?
Immernacht is the greatest club aller Zeiten. The owner makes sure everyone has a good time.
If anyone acts without respect, they are banned from the club forever. You are free to do and be whatever you like, as long as you are harming no one.
I do like that. That is the ideal. I
Und
do
I
kind of
hear
love
that
that.
they are now attracting sexy old cowboys.
Hey, wait. I think that's us. Yo, I think that's us. Also, I just realized you can't see my cursor. There we go.
Shh, Maxie. He is old enough to be your grandfather.
Oh, come on now. You're just flattering me. I'm only a couple 100 years old.
Oh mein Gott, he is so cute, Reinhard. Can I keep him?
I don't think what I'm wearing will fit the dress code.
The cowboy look is total sexy, but you will get a bit sweaty.
I feel like that would happen regardless. Hi, Fluffy.
Sacrifice to Biscuit.
Speaking of sacrificing the biscuit, I do need to remember to go. I need to go get him out of jail. I put him in jail for a little nibble, and now I need to take him out. Welcome to, we're gonna be a therapist for vampires, as a vampire.
I hope we will all get a bit sweaty.
Ooh, I think she's into it.
Good thing we run a little on the cold side, huh?
Don't worry, my Liebling. We make each other warm.
There's a lot going on here. There's a lot happening.
Reinhard, stop. Don't scare the American. I want to do that.
There's so much to unpack
Maxi
in this
Liebchen,
situation.
you're so naughty tonight.
No, you are the naughty one.
Do you two need a room? Do we all need a room? Is that what's happening here? Is that the direction we're going?
Well, I definitely ain't an American no more. I'm looking for Andrew Makos.
You mean the club owner? Ja, that is why we are here.
If you're lucky, he will invite us to the private party at the end of the night.
Well, what happens there?
I think maybe it is too kinky for Americans to hear.
I find that hard to believe. I've been on the internet for a long time, lady. You may be older than the internet, probably, but I have certainly been on it for almost as long as it's been around.
I can cut loose. What kind of party is this?
The kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
Oh, you're them kind of vampires.
Ach so, there are better things to suck than blood, oder?
Wow, just come right out. You know what? Not shocked, not surprised. This is all par for the course. Let's go. Damn it.
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do
What's
not,
all this?
I'm
What's happening
thinking
here?
our night is ruined.
Damn, you're glowing all red.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it. It reminds me of one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can I go back?
Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of. There's high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown.
Maya, you're 100% correct. That's it. You only adopted the internet. We are raised in it, molded by it. I didn't come out. Well, no, we're still there. We've never left, and we never will. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die show. I love the fucking cowboy names for these things. This is incredibly funny.
And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine. I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there.
I'm immediately entered. Private property, do not read. Reward if found. Cowboy bloodsucker at vmail.com. Collected notes of Sam Walls. Wait, no, hold on. I found this old notebook and figured I'd take it with me to Europe. I figure it'll help me reorganize my thoughts. I'll separate it into sections so I can jump to them right quick. That way... Oh, no, hold on. I'm doing this wrong. That way, when I need to get to a particular section of my notes, all I gotta do is hop over to that there section. Easy as falling off a horse, and falling off a horse is real easy. The funny ways we think. I realize we vampires can think in funny ways sometimes. Like, reality is right in front of us, and we just can't see it. Heck, pretty sure it's all humans who do that, not just vampires. We do think funny thinking in particular ways, so I figured I'd write them down so I don't forget them. I'll include examples so I remember how they work. I knew mind. Sometimes things can seem black and white, or win or lose, famine or feast, or live or die, like everything's a big showdown. It can feel like we've only got two options, winning the day or ending up with a stake in the heart. That's high noon mind. It's thinking in extremes, ignoring all the in-between. We stress ourselves out when stakes are high. If I can get the best out, my back's gonna break. No doubt. Either I show up ready to win the rodeo, or I'd better just not show up. Fate of the Wild West is hanging on this gunfight. A lot of us bloodsuckers have a habit of either feeling responsibility or sole control, or feeling completely hopeless. The thing is, usually neither is true. Feeling hopeless don't mean we're powerless, and feeling untouchable don't mean we're invincible. That's the lone thinking either way. Our real capabilities are somewhere in between. Mortal discovers our secret. It's entirely my responsibility to deal with it. I can't deal with the bureaucracy of international travel with my coffin. I'm stuck in the USA forever. That's really funny. We vampires sometimes call ourselves awful names. I'm a failure. I'm unkillable. I'm unlikable. It's like burning ourselves with our big old branding iron. Every time we look at ourselves, we'll keep seeing those names. Our brand just calling ourselves names that do no good. Alright, so this is indeed our therapist right here. We're gonna go ahead and close up here now. Close. Thank you.
I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though. Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who can make their own fun.
I don't want to have my own fun. Immernacht is the only place to be on Friday night.
I think that's the High Noon Mind, because it's the do or die.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this thing. It's a nightclub, not a high noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Reinhardt, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met. I really gotta find Andromachos, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him. Excuse me, friend. I hear you're the man to talk to around these parts.
I don't know why his look surprised me, but oh my god. You know what? This still tracks. Damn, he's beefy. Look at them arms. How long have you been around, my friend? You look like you're wise. Ooh, do you talk?
I'm here to see Andromachos.
Growls thoughtfully.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Cowboy, what about us?
Bring them joy or dash their hopes. Let's bring them
Yeah,
joy.
sure, they're friends of mine.
Have fun, mate.
Well, come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah.
I could have just denied that we had a wonderful
Dang, awful
conversation.
loud in here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us!
Oh, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Tarnation, I'd rather hear a gopher giving birth than this. I better talk to whoever's slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachos is. But pardon me, ma'am.
I've never been to a German nightclub, but according to all forms of media I've ever seen, this is exactly what it sounds like.
Well,
Hello.
look at you. We get
Hold
a
on.
lot of 80s fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s.
Hi. 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 Oh, what do I say next? What do I say next? I don't know what comes after hi.
What can I get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
I never drink Red Bull. I'm actually looking for the owner. He around tonight?
Might be. What do you say your name was?
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Sam Walls, huh?
Correct, Fluffy. You are incredibly correct. Yes, I am. I don't know how the fuck to talk. All I know how to do is.
I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
From where I'm standing, I see someone with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Don't you go worrying about me, cowboy. The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was just testing to see if you are who you say you are. Tell you what, let me give you something from our special reserve. I don't think you're looking for booze.
Can I have a combo?
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some goths, honey. They're here to dance and have fun.
Oh, wait. Really?
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him.
Oh.
It's a special experience.
Oh. Okay.
He's the only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
Never mind.
Bert?
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over here.
You mean the bouncer? What up, Bert?
This one's here to see the big guy. Show him upstairs, okay?
So you're mortal too. No, that's fine. That works too. So many tattoos. So strong.
Have
I
fun,
love the
mate.
hair. I'm in love with the hair. I'm
Good
in love
luck
with the
up
hair.
there, cowboy. Hope you find what you're looking for.
I'm so incredibly gay. Someone send help.
Howdy. It's Sam Walls to see you, sir. The guy who's been sending you all them V-mails.
Yes, I know who you are, Samuel Walls. You have come here because you believe you can help our kin.
That's too late. Already drowned. Wow. Hello, Dracula-looking dude.
The question is, are you first able to help yourself?
I've been fixing myself for more than a century now. I don't think I need help.
Then you must prepare to learn a most difficult
Okay,
lesson.
not exactly what I meant, but that's fine.
We all need help, Samuel. I am pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Ooh, you look pretty good. Not gonna lie. Like, I don't generally go for, like the more masculine people, but at the same time, I love the salt and pepper. Doing something for
Dang,
me.
you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless. Please, sit down. What an absolute pleasure it is to meet you at last. I found your messages most intriguing.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking my help. You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're gonna be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
That's, yeah, 3,000 years old? At most, like, maybe 200 years old.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh, yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing sorts my thoughts out better. After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive. Or we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something. And when we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
Fascinating, Samuel. These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
Are you telling me that our boy Sam here taught himself to be a psychiatrist?
Cognitive distortions. They are exactly as you described them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
Hi, you're 3,000 years old. I hope you understand, cowboy talk.
Well, I noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do-or-die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
I must confess I have no experience with this feeling. I engaged in mortal combat long before the age of gunpowder. But the sentiment you describe mirrors the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's challenges often turn us into our worst selves.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marcus was a bedroom name.
How many famous people in history have you slept with, sir? This, for research purposes only, I need to ask this question. very important questions, I promise.
You mean you and the emperor were...
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake. My apologies. I somehow forgot you were American. But let us discuss this high noon mine. I believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of binary thought polarized thinking, but I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
Okay, so they're being changed from their very cowboy names to more vampire names. Sometimes things can seem black and white. Yeah. It's still the same examples.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
Oh, like the movie. I get it.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure. The truth is far more complex and colorful. Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
Well, yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun, but it ain't the end neither.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them if you miss it. If I do not drink blood, I will surely die.
Is that Nosferatu thinking?
No, Samuel. In this case, I am not arguing with reality. If we do not drink blood, we die. This is a fact of being a vampire.
Okay, I was like, isn't that true? It sounds right.
Let us
but,
continue.
like the phrasing was right,
Death
but
eventually comes for us all.
that's correct.
Mortals will always fear our kind.
Now that's Nosferatu
That's
thinking.
Nosferatu thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
Very good, Samuel. And even if you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not. Always is such a terminal word, is it not? Would you like to discuss more of your revelations with me?
All right, what's next? Let's. You know what? I want to go to the hot branding because I feel like he has experience with this, and I don't mean the psychology way.
See, I used to be in a gang. They were my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard. Once I got away, I realized how small-minded I was. I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard, but that's how I was choosing to brand myself. My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling. You correctly discovered that labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill. For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I made my way in the world. I was an unstoppable warrior and assassin. But with this label, I limited myself for ages. I did not only kill people, I also killed potential aspirations I might have had. See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements. I am so old, I am ancient. Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner. How shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
Well, that's about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
Excellent, Samuel. You are correct. Labels can be cages that we lock ourselves in. I was a mere murderer for most of my existence because that is how I labeled myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
I wanted to hear more about hot branding, but you know what? I have a feeling I'm going to learn more about that later.
I realize that as vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking, two extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Oh man, it make me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
Look, trust me, Sam, I've gotten some schooling. I haven't figured some of this stuff out myself yet. I'm still working on it.
You live
Very
forever, my
important.
friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon you have described a control fallacy.
Okay, so Nosferatu thinking is the only one that even sounds remotely vampiric, but you know what? I'm okay with this. I do kind of miss the cowboy terms, but these are more, direct. These are kind of more
Rarely do we
accurate.
have complete power over our situations or no power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that. I used to think I'd never get away from my gang, and maybe that's what made me stick with them for so long.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be. Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
You're testing me, ain't you? That's a control fallacy right there.
Well done, Samuel. I am indeed very powerful, but the cosmos holds no awareness of Andromachos. Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one. The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it.
No, that's just true.
My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
Hi, my beast. I don't think that's a control fallacy.
I shall never feel the warm sun upon my skin again. I shall never feel the warm sun upon my skin again.
Why'd you say it twice?
You didn't catch my control. The sun will
Okay.
eventually burn out. My kitty cat died.
I shall be lonely forever. Oh, that one, because
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you can always pick up a new one. Or there's lots of them just waiting for a loving home, so you don't need to be lonely.
It was just an example, Samuel. Well spotted. But I do speak from experience. I felt this way once when a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified.
which pharaoh? Please give me a name.
I went into a murderous depression that nearly decimated the continent. But I had the power to help myself all along by adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Oh, dang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
No, that's all of them. I got the 3. I feel like if I opened a psychology textbook, there'd be about 1 million more, but,
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
That you recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel. What took me nearly 3 millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm just a dope stumbling his way through one life.
I do love that he still dresses as a cowboy every day. It's like, this is what I died in, and this is what I'm going to be wearing for the rest of eternity. You can't get me to stop.
Are you now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves. As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real
I just
challenges.
realized that this entire time this conversation has been going on, the party music from the German club is still going on in the background, ever so slightly. It's quiet, but you can feel the beat.
One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
I get it.
I ain't never heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies, and Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements.
Oh
and
God,
each
it's a
one
test.
will contain a
It's a good thing I wrote
distortion
notes.
for you to identify. I will begin. If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
That would be... It's not labeling. It's not black and white, that's the control fallacy.
There's a control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests, or some newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another.
I love that that was his explanation. It's like,
I am Andromachus, the ancient darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
Well, that's definitely some intense labeling. Those are some hard names to get over.
You are not wrong. Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then. If my club's revenues do not significantly increase, I will end up living on the street.
I think your club's doing just fine.
That there's got to be Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between making a ton of profit and living on the street.
Indeed, you are correct. I run my club at a considerable loss, but 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anymore.
Jesus Christ. Hey, can I have some of that? Just a little bit. Just a smidge. If you've been like, I hope that you have that compound interest. It's better than principled. Like the compound interest, 3,000 years. Like, you ever heard the story? I'm sure. Did you come up with the story of the girl and the grain of rice and doubling it every day? Do you know that story? I bet you do.
Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would very much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment to your own mental health.
Oh, now, hold on just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Say Futurama? I mean, yeah, like Futurama as well. Yes, obviously. But my brain, and maybe because I was thinking about it recently, was about, like, literally the story from when I was a kid that taught me what compound interest was. About the rice. Wild. But yes, also in Futurama when Fry was rich as all hell.
Samuel, we all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
This is also true. Even if you feel good about yourself, therapy is very helpful. Therapy is always good. I recommend.
I have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious, but I am here to help you identify and challenge them. You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Okay, how many of you are gonna go out after this and immediately to start recognizing these patterns in your own speech? Because I feel like I am.
Well,
I already
all
kind
right,
of-
if you say so. I appreciate you taking the time to work on this, old cowpoke.
I feel like I've already remembered certain recent times when these very much hit me.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay, then. Well, sir, it's been an honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right, then, Andromachos.
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 Hey, Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Just call me Andy.
Andy!
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow, then.
I feel like you could have gone for Andrew. Or Andromeda. I feel like Andy is going...
Look at all the immortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty. There ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on a dance floor.
Are you sure about that? I remember a couple of the goths that you helped get in that you owed
Maybe
in.
I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
Actually, no. Actually, no. Let's go back to the bartender. I'm okay with this.
If it isn't Clint Eastwood again. How'd it go, cowboy?
Crimson, why are you so cool?
Seems I'll be sticking around. Guess I'd better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have a lot of problems to fix. Name's Crimson, by the way.
Fine meeting you, Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Maybe he's... you never... Well, you know... I wouldn't say that he's definitely not going for it. It's like, hey, it's one of those things. Hey, if the situation, you know, if one thing leads to another, you never know.
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
Oh.
No shit. How's a mortal get hooked up with an ancient vampire?
I'm a rock climber. I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
Dang. Must have been a sight.
You ain't kidding, cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain.
Yeah, you know, I don't know where else they would be, but you
We
make a
hit
good
it off,
point.
and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula.
A hot tub in a mountain cave? Private generator. I'm sure he's 3,000 years old. If he doesn't know how to have like his own, more or less self-sufficient energy source, then I'd be shocked.
But what are you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Yeah, but he's a vampire. He's
Reinhard,
so
look.
strong.
It's the sexy old
He's
guy
like
again.
superhuman. He's super powered. He can just go hop up and fly off while I'm just holding this thing one-handed.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you'll definitely get lucky.
Pleasures of the flesh ain't exactly what I'm after tonight.
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by uns.
Oh. No.
I ain't buying you a drink. All I got are good old-fashioned dollars.
I'm broke. I have no money.
I like American money. All we have on our money are buildings. You have all the sexy old men.
Molly, is that you? I didn't know Molly wrote this game.
All right, I'll buy it. Which of them old men are sexy?
I like Hamilton. His posture is just so powerful.
I assume you've seen the musical.
There is a dollar coin that has Eisenhower's face on it.
Oh, you are right. Eisenhower is, how do you Americans say, a snack?
I get it. You like older men. Look, kids, you seem like nice enough folks, but I wasn't planning on buying drinks tonight.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
Dang, really? Ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
Call it a drink exchange.
Ah, I get it. Drinks are free, so the blood is okay.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here.
I love this place. I love this place.
Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
Wait, kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
I'm from Missouri, but point taken.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there.
We're
Just
in
have
Germany
fun
right now.
And drink your fill, handsome.
That is
I'm
where we
sure
are.
I'm seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special customers.
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
My neck scrubs with anticipation.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore this much leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
Not yet. Not yet, he don't.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign myself up for it.
I'm sorry, it was too easy.
I really ain't in Missouri no more. Look, I'm more into biting.
Oh, your teeth look perfect. Are you going to bite me with those?
That's the plan. Who's going first?
Oh, me.
Well, step right on up.
Oh my god. Oh, you can skip this if you want to. Okay, bite the blue vein. Do I have to? Oh, wait.
Oh, das hat sich gut angefühlt.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Is it my turn yet?
Sure thing. Come on over.
Oh, I don't like that very...
Oh,
Dang, what's wrong with me?
oh, okay. I must have missed.
Oh, I don't...
Dang, what's wrong with
What
me?
do you mean I'm missing? I know bite the blue veins, but you're kind of in weird spots, I'm gonna be honest.
Dang it, that cow.
Oh, the challenge makes it more fun.
Okay.
Oh, Reinhard. The hot old vampire wore
There
me
we go.
out.
Me too, Maxie. I feel as though I have set up a mail server.
Reinhard, mein Sucke Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde, sexy zu sein.
I have no idea what you're saying, but I feel like I'm being complimented.
I will get us a taxi cab, Liebchen. Und du, cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing you mentioned earlier.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, sure thing, fella. Maybe I can tell you some Eisenhower stories. Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
Samuel, wait a moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading out?
Yeah, I figure I could use some shut-eye. I locked up my coffin over at the storage center.
Storage center? Please, you can use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
I do love that they're just like, no, we have to sleep in a coffin. Like, it's just kind of the rule.
Guess I got a big night tomorrow, huh? I should get a good day's sleep.
Wonderful. Please, follow me.
I kind of love this. I think I need to get the full game because this is
Well,
just the
dang.
demo.
This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins.
Oh my god, this coffin has a TV.
Let's see what's on TV. Hey, I remember this movie. We were so proud to finally get some representation. Not sure I should stay up watching movies, though. Well, ain't much else
That's
to do in
right.
here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
How do you? Okay, question. If you're laying down and you're like stuck in the coffin, is there enough room for you to like move your hands, like get up and like change those dials? Because they seem kind of far down there. Like, are you? Also, how heavy is that lid? Another cup. That's true.
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still pretty full from last night. Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I don't know, but look, they weren't practically. They were straight up throwing themselves in your face and on your teeth.
I am not surprised. Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess we should just save it for therapy, huh? We gonna get started now?
If you like.
Why not? I'm eager to get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like. Being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time. It ain't no way to live. When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
You, of all people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers.
That's a Twilight joke. That's a Twilight joke, and I'm here for the roast.
I've got to make them see their potential. That's what I'm here for. I know it.
That is a lot of responsibility to place on yourself.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
You are most perceptive. Yes. Perhaps you can tell me what it is.
It's the
When you say
control.
you are here to make vampires see the world differently, in what way are you distorting reality?
And acting as if I have the ability to control
Well, I
them
guess
all.
that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
Very good, Samuel. Control fallacies are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something. Your fate is not to transform every vampire you ever meet, even those who are your clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough.
Thank you, Andy.
But I am eager to learn how you developed this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
Well, like I told you when I first V-mailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire.
You
When
believe?
I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed. It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever and all we can do is kill? That's the dumbest thing I ever did hear.
I am going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no account piece of shit, nasty son of a bitch, dumbest thing.
Yeah, the V-mail is really funny because like we saw. Oh, hold on. Cowboy, his V-mail is cowboybloodsucker@vmail.com. the vampires have their own little corner of the internet, and they know what they're doing there.
Do you hear the way you are talking about yourself?
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing. I didn't think of nobody but myself.
Pretend you are my therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a bitch if you are labeling yourself?
Something about hearing him say nasty son of a bitch with that accent and voice is really funny.
If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself. So, now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way...
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild
way to
West
look at
was
the
ending,
log, I
and the
accidentally-
Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang.
Yep, there it is.
So, now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way, please tell me, how did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending, and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang. I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think. I walked in nature for about 90 years and just took in all the grace and beauty of my country. I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the Transcendentalists helped me.
Why?
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done
That's
a lot
black
of
and
good in
white
that
thinking
time.
of one or the other.
But your should turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Should statements are another cognitive distortion.
Uh-oh, we have
something
more.
created by your own mind. Nature asks almost
We have another
nothing.
button to press. Look at that. Biscuit, more buttons. Do you want up? Uppy, are you gonna jump? Jump up. No? You just want scritches? There you go, now you're up. You wanted scritches, then you jump.
Even if your should comes from a place of good, it creates undue pressure.
Hold on. Sometimes we judge others and ourselves with arbitrary rules on how things should be, and then we get hopping mad with... Okay, I know that this is just because this is a demo, but there's something really funny about this. Just being pure on purple, like there's no, like they didn't put the texture in.
And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
I'll be real, even mortals have a lot of time to procrastinate, even if we shouldn't.
You got that right. Why do today what you could do next century?
Exactly. Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling?
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do. But nature herself tells us what they are. We invent the rest. Here, let me give you an exercise. Listen
An
closely.
exercise, but I don't
See
need to
whether
work
you
out
can
right
find
now.
the should statement that is a
Oh,
distortion.
that kind of exercise.
I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood. I should drink blood today. I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date. I should be wary of sexually transmitted diseases.
I mean, these
Did
are
you
all...
miss my should statement? Let's try
Well, wait,
again.
no, all those
I
sound
should
fine.
go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood.
That's the one.
That is not true. We have to go to the
No,
dentist.
okay,
Our
that's-
teeth. How
that's
long
not
has
what I
it been
was-
since you've seen the dentist, Samuel?
No, not since the Civil War, and I'd rather keep it that way.
We'll talk about that in another session. Let's try
He's
again.
like, look, I know a guy.
I should drink blood today.
Oh, that might be the should statement because this is maybe.
Well, I guess if you don't want to drink blood,
But I'll die if I don't. Permanently.
so I guess you should.
I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date. I should be wary of sexually transmitted diseases.
But like, you should be wary. You should. I guess you shouldn't. The only one I guess is Crimson.
I should take my blood partner Crimson.
Saying you should take Crimson out on a date is a should statement. You've turned something you want to do
Oh,
into something
okay,
you have
brain.
to do.
I get it. I understand now.
That's right, Samuel. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with you. Your time in nature was clearly well spent.
Well, thanks, I suppose. But if you don't mind my saying so, I hope you're treating that mortal lady right.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself. I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
She does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner. Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a good heart. I think you will be an excellent therapist.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You are uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel?
Mood.
Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah, that happens.
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I spent the next 90 walking in the woods. I've tried to walk a better path since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either. I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too, have done terrible things that I cannot erase. But is erasing the good I have done worthwhile?
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
It's another cognitive distortion, one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive.
Okay, I think we have all our buttons because there's no more space for more buttons. There's no space for more buttons, Andy. Andy, there's no space for more buttons. You can't be giving me more, okay?
I understand
Is this all of them?
that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality, with both its positive and negative aspects. I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones. Let us try an exercise. See whether you can challenge me when I disqualify my positive deeds.
Well, this one should be easy.
I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive.
No?
Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things.
I mean,
Well, that's the one.
But I wasn't talking about the positive things. I have
Okay, I know.
defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people.
um,
The good I now do pales in
okay, no,
comparison
that's the
to
one.
evil
That's
I
the
have
one.
done.
That's the
Stop
one.
that.
You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you done.
Well done, Samuel. I believe the recognition of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
tomorrow? Day 3 in
Whoa,
Europe.
Tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
I will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
My friend, we are never truly ready. But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
I'm as ready as I'll ever
I think
be.
I'm good.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get the liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired.
Cool, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna go,
Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
Oh, yeah, of course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
rest. Hold on, I need to see what it didn't read it for some reason. Oh, it doesn't read it out loud. No, but this is such a great line. I want to hear his voice. You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace. That's such a good line. Why was it the only one not voiced?
Ah, Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his way.
All right, cool. What are we dealing with?
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my friend. You are a powerful vampire in your own right. To be so young and have so much empathy is quite a gift. All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If you are about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
He's like, look, I have a... see the future. You know what? I shouldn't be surprised that you can see the future, Andy. What powers don't you have? You're 3,000 years old.
You can see the future?
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Hold on a second.
Well, dang. If seeing the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically. Don't think about it too much. When you are 3,000, such things will cease to impress you. Let us look at your first client's
The
case
question
file.
is, will I make it to 3,000? Because, oh my god, how many other vampires are your age?
Dr. Drain, huh? He ain't got no first name?
430 years old, male, English, is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. He's been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries, became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. Is now concerned that he has developed, in addition to a drug of his own formulation, an addiction, detected strong irritability on the phone, investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits.
Many vampires go by one name. Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed, you catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive. I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
So you won't be in the room, but you're gonna Professor Oak into our brain whenever we're about to get on the bike inside.
But
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself, and all will be well.
Oh, off you go.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying! Hey there. God's blood, what on earth are you? My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain. And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you. Oh well, I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you? And ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet ignorance, how I do wish I knew thee.
You're so angry. Do you want to talk about that? Would you like to lay down and talk about why you're so angry, and if you keep being angry to your therapist might forcibly make you lay down?
Damn it, how am I gonna work with this fella? I gotta ask Annie.
Are you all right, Samuel?
You gave me this fella as my first client?
Why not? He is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
Yeah, it's always the extreme kind of ones that are just like, yeah, you're. I guess
How
you're
am I
angry.
supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours. What does this poor vampire want?
I think he just wants to complain.
I think he just wants to complain.
Perceptive, Samuel. He can hardly stop himself, can he?
So, what, I just let him complain?
Of course. Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
And the more it's also like, as it just kind of flows out naturally, eventually you'll find the root, maybe, hopefully.
Well, if you say so.
Don't worry, Samuel. You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
A time.
Well, are you just going to sit there? I was just gonna ask how your trip here was. My trip? My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat. I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me? Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform.
Hold on. Labeling.
All I could do was screech and squeak until he went away.
He does a little bit, doesn't he?
Well, I suppose I'm alive, in a manner of speaking anyway. You all right there, pal? Yes, I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine.
Now that's a hell of a mood. It's like, I am fine, just don't ask me any more specifics, but other than that, I'm fine.
I take it you read my case file and know why I'm here? You're here for an addiction problem. Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it? What's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him. Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the mental failings of people who only live a single lifetime. Hey, come on now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead. So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks. Whatever one does to make addictions go away. Tips? Let me think. Partner, there ain't no tips that'll magically cure you. But I'm here to listen. You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T. And I know how you English love your tea.
Thank goodness we can still process tea. We cannot live on blood alone. I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing.
I tell you what, let's not worry about being above or below anything. You're here now, so let's see what we can
There's
do.
a judgment-free zone. Tell me everything. I bumped the mic. I'm sorry.
What exactly are you addicted to?
It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design, a necessary component of my own scientific goals.
Synthetic blood?
You're losing me.
Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive.
Synthetic blood.
Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able. I can extend this receptivity and thus achieve my true goal: synthetic
Called
blood,
it. I'm a
freedom
genius.
from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity.
Synthetic would actually be really good for vampires. Like the way that would
Well,
help.
dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc.
Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to. Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace.
Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre.
Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically speaking, I am in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem. Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
Can I click these buttons, please?
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of
A
thought?
lot. I recognize a lot of these. He's disqualifying his positives. He's labeling. He's got some control fallacies. Maybe some
There's some
fraud too.
distortions in there, ain't there?
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk
Hey,
more about this
biscuit.
failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure.
I am a realist, that's all.
Well, tell me about your positive stuff. What's some good things that you've done?
Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes.
I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling. I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set.
Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little.
But you know something.
Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years.
You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though.
I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
Should.
Well, who said you should have achieved?
Isn't it obvious? I should have.
And what happened?
Absolutely.
Well,
That is not as encouraging as you think it is.
Okay, messed up a
ain't
little
meant
bit.
to be encouraging. Just show.
Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
Control fallacy?
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood.
It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have
There
the
we go.
skill, the knowledge, and the experience.
Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself.
Please, I am a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding.
And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding?
No, of course not. I'm not a wizard.
Exactly.
So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc?
We're getting there. We're getting there one sentence at a time.
That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
Is that a labeling or is that a black and white? That's not black and white. Hold on. I need to look at my notes. Hold on. Give me a moment. It's not this one. Butterfinger, sap. Let's see. That fella doesn't look. Vampire wannabe. No. Oh, yep. That's definitely. Yep. Nosferatu. That's the High Noon. It's High Noon, buddy.
That's a pretty dark read on things. You know, lots of folks get over their addictions.
Yes, but not me.
I'm trying to tell you that even if you are addicted, that ain't the end, hermano. You got a lot of life and opportunity left in you.
If you can call this life. Now hold on there. That's what I call Nosferatu thinking, straight from the coffin. Life ain't all black and white. It's got its shades of gray too, you know. Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic. Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point. But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy. That ain't my department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug. So what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this, alive. Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else, someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed.
So you're telling me you made an antidepressant pill?
You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself.
Have you not been sleeping? Vampires need to sleep too.
Oh, wait just a gosh darn minute. You're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and so you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
Nope, that's it. That's
Depression
wrong.
is the only sensible reaction. He makes the goths downstairs seem almost joyous in their perspectives, doesn't he?
Incredibly so.
Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around
Oh wait,
you,
no, that's
depression
still
is the only
the
sensible
black
reaction.
and white, right?
It has. Come on now, it's a big world out there, and different things are depressing to different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed? Very well, I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed.
I love that our cowboyness is just fucking this guy up so much harder.
Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard. Now why'd you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am? Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label. Oh, very well, call it moaning or whinging if you prefer. Moaning, whinging, bellyaching, still all just labels. I don't believe I shall be using the term bellyaching in any case.
Good, and then don't use any of
But as
them.
I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like.
Nope,
So,
okay.
for once in his life, he experiences a positive in feeling and he immediately invalidates it. Perhaps we can simply diagnose him as English.
Andy, that is the funniest thing I think you've said all day. All night.
In the moments
like-
I wake up, I
It's like,
feel free.
yeah, I'm writing you a prescription
suppose it must be
to
what being an
lead England
ignoramus
for
feels
like
like.
a couple centuries. You need to not be there, apparently.
So you're telling me you feel good when you wake up, and then you call yourself an ignoramus. Before you even get a chance to reflect on feeling good, you're insulting yourself. That's what I like to call disqualifying the positive. I'm simply stating facts. Stating facts shouldn't impede an argument. What good is that fact doing anyone? It's about as useful as an empty holster, lest I somehow forget that you are a cowboy.
Look, when you've been a certain way for a couple hundred years, just talking like with using these same metaphors, they just kind of stick to you.
About this drug, though. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need and it makes you feel good. What's the problem? First of all, I do not need to rest. And partaking of this plasma does have downsides.
Good. Let's talk about this
What
part.
kind of downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex.
Ah, I see. You get blackout drunk.
Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful.
Okay, I'm not gonna. I shouldn't have
I guess you
laughed
must
at
be
that.
having some kind of good time. That is not my idea of a good time.
But also, he doesn't remember it, so
I'm
that's not.
Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood.
It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things.
Well, I should be better at it.
Good.
You know, Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you. You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself.
Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults.
I'm being serious. I'm listening to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts?
I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years.
It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead men. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you. You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff.
That's bad for you. That's how you get withdrawal.
Do it at all.
Is that actually gonna happen, though?
It might.
You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you?
I was thinking about it.
All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking.
I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind.
Trust me, it's rarely pleasant on the first visit. Like, you're gonna uncover some shit that's gonna make you fuck up your worldview a little bit, but that's kind of the
partner.
point.
You're way smarter than I am.
Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting, inasmuch as our kind can reflect.
That's a good point. Why is there a mirror in here if vampires can't reflect? Does he just...
I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
4 weeks, got it.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you.
Okay, so it's once a week.
I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
That's the line I wanted to hear.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub.
Maybe Reinhardt and Max here, still here. Or back here again. I have a feeling, is that going to be... No, it's not. We're still going.
Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already. I sure could use a drink. I'll check in with Crimson.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam, how you doing tonight, partner?
Okay, how many different names can you come up with for me? I need to know. I need to know. They're all very good.
Better already hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more, polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Oh, maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh, yeah? How do you think it went?
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end. You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
I love Sam. I think he's really fun. And
You ain't kidding. Living or dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
I do love the don't fall for the trap. I think that's very funny.
I'm gonna do the gentlemanly thing and not hazard a guess.
You would have gotten it wrong anyway. I'm 50 years young.
What? I was gonna say 30 and...
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too. Just not enough to
okay,
turn
I
me
see.
into one of you. I've been 30 for a good while now.
Okay, so I was right when I said 30.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood. Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Too much sugar. Too sugary. It's like me trying to drink any sort of regular soda these days.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Okay, I'm also very interested in this game. I am very interested. Oh, wait, no. How long is this demo?
He is my incredible protege.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight.
Uh-oh.
Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult.
When you say difficult for a vampire, what exactly do you mean?
Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella D'Este. Dang.
550.
She's got some funny tasting hats.
From the Renaissance, Isabella was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and unlife have both been meaningless. Suggestion, be exceedingly polite.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone, but I hear the beating of elegant wings. Breathe, Samuel. Oh, and do be polite.
Okay, I love the little bat coming on screen.
Goodness. So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
You're so fancy. You really you look like you stepped right out of a Renaissance painting.
Sam Wall's at your service, ma'am.
To be fair, Sam looks like he walked right out of a black and white cowboy movie, so I guess they're even.
You are a therapist.
Oh, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Senora.
Senora. Senora. Not Senora. 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 What's the closest one to how that's pronounced? Senora.
All right, Senora.
You have seen my what? Have you been peeking under my skirt,
Well,
young man?
okay.
Huh? What are you talking about, lady?
Signora. Say it.
Signora.
Signora. Signora.
Senora.
Signora?
Porca miseria. This is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Senora.
So, therapy is always easy then.
I said it ain't never easy, Senora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
This is a bad combination. This is a very bad combination of you always talking in very...
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so diabolical?
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Senora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
I'm just here to help, Senora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
Yes, tell us about your existential
A
crisis.
tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
So what set off this feeling that you're a corpse?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Okay.
Hey, I love the cinema.
On with her over glamour?
I can't get enough Hollywood. All that glitz and glamour. Them celebrities sure know how to look good.
Per favore, they look like employees of a peacock brothel.
I tried my best.
The battle between licentiousness and chastity has ended, and chastity has been utterly degraded on the battlefield. They should be ashamed of themselves, parading their young flesh for the adulation of fools. I could teach them about proper fashion, but alas, they would be incapable of hearing my wisdom.
I can tell I'm barking up the wrong tree here. Let's go back to this movie you saw at the cinema.
It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still 5 years later.
Okay, is this going to be, are you going to mention a real movie? And if so, from 2019, I need to know what
Movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful, it was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible.
What came out in 2019? Did you see a Marvel movie? I feel like you saw a Marvel movie. Marvel movie came out. That wasn't Infinity War, was it? No, that was Civil War, Guardians, no. Yeah. Avengers Infinity War came out that year. No, Endgame. Endgame came out in 2019. Never mind, I was gonna say Endgame, but I couldn't remember what year it came out. Jesus Christ, it's already been 5 years. Someone help me. Oh God, no, it's been 5 years.
And the audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind. I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth. This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the
Nope, okay,
Space War.
also a great fucking choice. Fucking God. Get fucking burned, Star Wars. Oh my God.
Wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
I mean, to be fair, it gave a lot of people a crisis, I'm pretty sure.
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art. But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want.
Well, there's actually a lot more going on beneath the surface about various things that I'm not going to get into because I wouldn't be able to say it with the proper justice it deserves.
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
What do you mean,
For
no?
such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora d'Este, are they not, Samuel?
You see,
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
it is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Only a little bit.
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white, you're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Nope, okay, it
Signora
must be
d'Este
controlling.
believes she can elevate all
One,
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
but I could once upon a time.
You can't reach everybody, Signora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying.
Sam makes a good point. Like if you just weren't exposed to something, you just don't know about it. And you literally can't reach everyone, you can't please everyone. That's not how
It was
life
all
works.
for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Oh, come on now. Just because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for. I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's efforts to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
I mean, it can. It definitely can do that.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose, but does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
Self-expression, fun, joy. Mainly that first thing.
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
Well, maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Heck, that's what I am, Senora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
Now, why have you gotta go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
I mean, dead, yes. Corpse, corpse implies some amount of not moving. Well, wait, no. Zombies are still corpses, right? Or is it, wait, no. Hold on. That's a good question. Zombies come from corpses. Are they still a corpse while they're a zombie?
Is that all you are?
This is how I am defined by the world.
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
As you should be. Allow me to continue. You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
Look, Senora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're gonna be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
I'm sorry, what?
What happened when you were 16?
I got married.
Okay.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment. He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame them all. Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition.
I do like that. I agree with you. But it seems like you're a little bit traditionalist yourself.
This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
But your version of Eden's going to be different from everyone else's.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
These are all great responses. Our true natures. You mean being nudist? You mean being vampires? You mean being Italian? I don't know which of these is the... They're all really, really funny. I don't know what... Oh god, they're all great. What should I pick? What should I go with? I feel like... she's not gonna like any of them. I feel like vampires is probably the answer that'll get the least rise out of her. I feel like she's not gonna like the nudist ones, and she's just gonna be like, ha ha ha, fuck you for the Italian.
You mean being vampires?
Come now, boy. Nothing could be further from natural. All this foolish hissing and copulation and blood drinking does not bring us closer to God. But it does give us more time to find the path.
Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
No, not that one. Sorry.
It seems that godliness is
So what happens if we don't become the greatest souls possible?
Then godliness is denied to us, as it should be.
So either we ascend or we're nothing, huh?
I am glad to hear you are not as foolish as you look.
Well, let's be honest, Senor. Plain folks like me ain't got aspirations of being as good as Jesus Christ. Ain't he supposed to be a forgiving sort anyway? Let's just get back to what you were saying.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
I've always, that would be...
You've been around a while, Senora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
Not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
All right, fair enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
An evil thought, Mr. Sam Walls, but true, I concede.
And this is not to make you more depressed. This is to help you kind of realize that you can't control things.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy to think that's gonna change because of you. Let's keep going.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
What do you mean that's not right?
Dark to our dear Senora.
I have always...
Hold up just a sec there, cowpoke. You really think all we can do is sow death and destruction?
What about the
I
happy?
do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
Come on, Senora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually, but as an immortal, I look at the greater arc of history.
And you don't see any good moments?
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless. That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
I'll tell you what.
I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a state.
Our esteemed client is very good at coming up with names for others, isn't she? Perhaps you...
I have always...
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden. Is that all
I'm
we
not a
amount
great
to?
therapist yet, but I'm
Fat and
working on
lazy?
it.
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features. Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Well, sure, why the heck not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper then.
You rather have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Senora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels.
I'm sorry if I'm not talking as much. This is just very real. Real therapy happening here.
Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
I think this here's the meat of it, Senora. The filet mignon.
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Here's the thing, Senora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They really had it all figured out way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Senora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you
At least
won.
3 of those were born. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's kind of the situation of probably reinterpreting the things that they said to be more divine, to be kind of put them into a new perspective. Like, oh, they didn't know about the Christian God, but they knew about divinity kind of in the broader sense, which means they were onto something, but they didn't have it all figured out. They didn't realize that there was the true God and all that good stuff.
That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reach the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction. When I say God, I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence. God himself.
Okay, never mind. Maybe she doesn't mean God in the literal Christian sense.
I see. So you've lost your faith.
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body.
Stop being mean to yourself. Don't be mean to yourself.
Beauty and truth are lies. Ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality.
No, that's just Disney. Disney corporations just suck. That's not humanity as a whole.
And to think, they call me judgmental while they created the false ideal to judge against. You don't think I'm judgmental, do you, boy?
Yes, definitely, absolutely. This is a broken question. Excuse me. You're doing nothing but judging. I've never seen anyone judge more than you. That's really. Oh my god, this is funny as hell.
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge
he absolutely just ignored all of them.
Senora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself. I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself. I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction? We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
I got some bad news for you, Senora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that. The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it? I ain't gonna help you change the world, Senora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
I can't change the world, but I can help you kind of change yourself a little bit to be more happy in the world.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
You know what? I'm not really happy with that, but I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said. We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, indeed, Senora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
I make no promises.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Senora Deste quite well.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
Samuel, if Isabella Deste hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
I mean, she definitely did tell me once or twice that she hated certain things about me.
That I believe.
The older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Senora called it.
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it. I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would. I think you deserve a night of hard drinking.
You don't need to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight.
We're good
Rest in
therapists in training. Interim. Intern. I don't know what else to call it. But that's, looks like we did it. Looks like we finished the demo. So that's where we're going to call it now, right at 7 o'clock. Good timing. So, yeah. What did you guys think? I think I like this one. As for You, I think was also very fun. I think this is very good in a very different way. I like them both. Let me put it that way. This one is already out, Vampire Therapist. I might actually just continue this one. That was really, this is fun. This is cool. This is interesting. I like it. But, my brain has stopped working for a second. Hold on, a lot of therapy just happened. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna call it tonight, y'all. Checking out some demos. I hope y'all enjoyed them. Let me know if y'all want me to continue playing those on stream. I would very much like to hear your opinions. That being said, I do like this tagline: hot vampires, wholesome healing, low price. It's like, well, that's a good way to get anyone interested. Hi, Biscuit. But we're gonna go and call it there. Thursday, we're gonna continue Inscription. I know it's the day after Christmas. We're doing it anyways. Speaking of which, enjoy your Christmas. Even if you don't celebrate it, enjoy your holidays or whatever you do celebrate, whatever you like to do. We'll be back on Thursday, and then Saturday we'll probably start Atelier. I think that's what we're doing. I think that's the plan for the moment. Isn't that right, Biscuit? Biscuit's just staring at me like I'm crazy. So I'll see you guys later. Night, y'all.